I just want you to hear the First Lady talk on an event she did in Capitol Hill having to do with revenge porn and deepfakes. Roll tape, please.
I'm here with you today with a common goal: to protect our youth from online harm. The widespread presence of abusive behavior in the digital domain affects the daily lives of our children, families, and communities. Addressing this issue is essential for fostering a safe and supportive environment for our young people. I hope today's roundtable builds awareness of the harm caused by non-consensual intimate imagery and eventually the approval of the Take It Down Act bill in Congress.
Okay.
In today's
She talked quite a
world,
bit. I led with
the
that for a
threat
change of pace because we usually lead with Donald Trump talking at the White House. There's the First Lady. Matt, what'd you think in general, playing off that clip of the role the First Lady's playing this time?
I'm fascinated by it. I mean, I think, she's going to do her own thing as she should. She's I think probably the furthest thing from Joe Biden we see where she's not in the West Wing every day, nor does she want to be. I was very fascinated. This was what she took kind of as her first issue.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting policy point.
Yeah. Alex, I think people for a while, the people who doubted Donald Trump would run, 4 years ago, said partly they based that on that she wasn't supportive. And of course, she wasn't around in this campaign nearly as much as she was 8 years ago, and not nearly as much as a normal spouse would be. So where do you see her fitting in this time?
So here's the thing about Melania Trump, which is that she was not as involved in this past campaign as she was in the previous one. That's true. Part of the reason was because she's just more focused on being a mom, seeing Barron off to college to NYU. That was part of it. She had a close relative who passed away, and that was part of it. Is also she just doesn't feel like she necessarily wanted to be part of that campaign. She made the decision to show up at Madison Square Garden, that event right beforehand. But here's the thing, just because she's not playing a public role, that doesn't mean she's not playing a private role. And he actually listens to her. She doesn't agree with everything he does. She criticizes him sometimes. But when you talk to Donald Trump's advisors, they'll tell you that when they call him in the evenings and he's with her, she's right there on the line with them. And so she has shielded herself from the public to a large extent now, but she's still playing an important role.